to fight.
I have a lot of mixed feelings.
I have so many mixed feelings. Oh, Blackfire asked, does Trey love Snyder now?
Okay, so I keep
You want the
coming
answer?
back to this thought. Has anyone seen Princess of Mars?
No.
Sorta.
Have you seen Princess of Mars?
I seen Castle in
No,
the
I
Sky.
don't think so.
Have you seen John? Was it
John Carter.
John
John
Carter?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
You say
Yeah.
yes. Did you rewatch that movie? Because you fell asleep in that movie.
I've seen more bits and pieces of it, but I did fall asleep on
I get a lot of.
I've seen John Carter.
I get John Carter quality vibes.
A lot
Yes,
of John Carter
yes.
vibes. Yes.
I
A lot.
100% get John Carter quality vibes. But I stayed awake this time. I'm gonna let y'all answer. Well, actually, I'm gonna answer Blackfire since they asked me. No.
You do not like Snyder.
I never disliked Snyder. So my statement as a person who went to school for film and TV production, who has worked in film and TV production on a minuscule level for anybody who cares about it, has connections with people in it, has been that Zack Snyder is known for his cinematography skills. No one doubts that he's a good director of photography. My statement is now, and that has always been, that story is not the big aspect that he's known for.
Yeah.
And if you asking me,
He's good at concepts.
yeah,
This was a concept film.
it sure was.
Very high concept.
Yep.
Very, very convoluted with not a lot of exposition.
Very.
Well, I mean, no, there was exposition. They were just dumped.
Yeah.
Like, exposition dumps where things were just told to me.
Yeah.
And that was just like the rest of the movie went on.
But it didn't make me care about any of it.
No, because there's nothing to care about.
There was nothing.
I cared about the main character.
Mm-hmm.
I cared about her. And then I care about Tarak. That's literally it.
That's
I feel like I just grew to like that felt, the main character felt like Stockholm syndrome to me.
Yeah.
It was just like,
You're made to like her?
yeah, like
Yeah.
there's just, I saw enough of her to be like, you know what, I accept it.
She's cool now.
Because I don't really get,
Only had to save the cat moment.
yeah, like I don't really get anything of her personal drive to do anything in this movie other than she doesn't want to see people get raped or murdered, which I feel like is just like a very obvious thing to not want. But if that's what y'all empathize with,
He should have made 6 movies. Okay, because he tried to put way too much. He focused really broad with this one.
yes.
There were already like established characters in this, and I felt lost in it because it's just like, okay, you have this character, but it seems like they know each other, but like how, like
He just
what,
picked the
what
dude
are-
up off the street.
Bugs.
Yep.
It's not like he saw him fighting at all.
right, and,
And
so
then they're like, oh yeah, join us.
right,
But
exactly.
he's just like, oh yeah, this dude is over here. There he is, actually.
And the whole entire time it's just
Clean
like,
him up.
okay, so you're getting fighters for this one village, while there are a whole other planets in need, but you're getting fighters for this one village.
They're getting no. They're getting fighters because they live there. That's their home.
Yeah.
I know.
They're getting fighters to make an army to save the other planets.
I know, but at the same time, it feels like, to me, like, okay, so you're recruiting fighters to save the village. I got that.
I thought they were
but
going
at
to
the
go
same,
to other nations.
I thought so
to
too.
recruit
I thought.
allies.
I
Well,
thought
no,
so,
because
too.
they knew exactly who they needed to get to.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna talk
We
to like
might-
the leaders and
Well,
everything.
we had Blood Axe. He was the saving grace.
You
They're
had
supposed
one
to-
half of the blood axe, okay?
They were gonna team up with Blood Axe and then stick it to the man.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
And within the 9 weeks,
We don't know how long it took. We don't
took
know.
less than 9 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know.
Took
but
one
it just,
day.
One day.
It just seems like there were higher stakes on other planets,
Mm-hmm.
especially the one what was it? Leviathan?
I don't know. The one with the
Leviticus.
still
The one with
people.
Leviticus.
Leviticus.
I don't.
King Leviticus.
Right, because
Levitica.
Levitica, where his whole entire like planet was just decimated.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I know the stakes were high for them, but it seems like the stakes were high everywhere. But for them to bring these people to this one village was,
I mean,
I don't know.
I personally don't have a problem with them bringing them there, just because that's where we started.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think that it was just the way it was so broadly focused,
Yeah.
and they could have
narrowed
they
it
could
down.
have narrowed, like, just focused on everyone without trying to shove all the exposition all into one
Yeah.
thing, because they had a lot of work. He had a lot of work to do to try to get us like caught up with the lore and the world he's trying to create, and introduce
All the characters.
so many characters
Yeah.
in one movie.
Yeah. And see, the thing you like with it is where I'm gonna be like, Zack Snyder's not really like a great story writer, is that as cool as most of the extra stuff in the movie is, none of the rest of how the world works matters.
No.
Because the main crux of this movie, and I guess the second one with the way they set it up,
Yeah.
is this is them protecting this one village.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it is superfluous to everything else, because we can get, anyone that watches this can get, okay, the space Nazis or the space empire is exacting their rule, and now this one little village wants to try and protect themselves as best they can. Yes. Yeah, like it's very obvious. There's no reason to put all the rest of it in there, because none of it is like important to the actual story.
It doesn't
that
make
he's
me
talking
care about it anymore.
Yeah.
Because we haven't spent enough time in the world to care about the world.
Yeah. Blackfire
We care about the village.
Right,
Yeah.
the village.
On like the basic of levels, we care about the village.
Yeah.
Blackfire says part 1 should have been the introduction before the big battle. An introduction to all the characters, basically.
Backstory.
Yeah,
Yes.
backstories and stuff.
Like we should not have like
Before the big
we should
battle,
before
yeah.
we took down Noble and all that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like a good example for anyone that be like, y'all hating on Snyder. A good example for anyone that's just like, why this is a bad example of writing is the fact that General Titus was called a strategic genius, and in this movie does absolutely nothing
strategic.
that lets us know about his genius.
Yeah.
Those are like examples of like, he had a concept and he wants you to sink into this world.
Mm-hmm.
But when you actually play out the movie, none of the things that he's saying are actually happening on screen.
Yeah.
I don't care that he's a genius, because he just is a drunk.
He does nothing.
He's a drunk.
Him being drunk is one thing,
He's just
but he got caught off guard. He didn't help in any tactical strategy.
No, he
he didn't
didn't.
provide any like land work.
Mm-mm.
They, in fairness, right? Because we saw the one shot of him in the part 2 trailer,
Yeah.
where he's talking to people and stuff. Maybe he's the one that's like training them
He has to be.
in getting them ready for war or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to know where I don't see that? Part 1, A Child of Fire.
That is true. You don't see it.
Wasn't
You don't
his
see
time.
it.
You'll
Yeah.
probably see it in the director's cut.
And
Mhm.
other
No.
than Tarak taming that
Nora,
griffin
100%.
/ big old crow, you don't see Tarak engaging in anything else.
Huh?
You don't see
After his,
But that's not what it was for.
no, it's not what it was for, but you have all these characters. Like, she goes and gets all of
Yeah.
these different characters,
That's-
but they aren't really put to use.
You're right.
Like they should have
You're
been.
right.
Like,
but,
I feel like
but
Blood
they were
Axe
only
gone too quick.
Gone way too
that
quick.
was annoying.
Like, they mentioned
hyped
his
him
name
up.
so much.
They said
just
we're going
for
to
that.
relax.
Just for him to run right off and stab and miss.
yeah. but
Get
But-
shot twice, and then bring that whole entire ship down.
I needed a whole
from that
segment.
one spot. Trey, you made a good point. Did that one spot control the whole entire ship? Cause, bro, I don't think so.
I don't know.
It did.
I
though. He
think-
was a pilot.
Apparently.
No, It looked like he was just controlling.
That's what it looked like, but it's not the reality.
That's what it looked like to us.
It's not the
Right.
reality.
No, in Snyder World.
Yeah, and the reality was that the
Snyderverse.
ship, because the way it's designed, is the pilot is in that little box.
It
Yeah.
shouldn't have
He
been.
is
it
also a
looked-
pilot.
It's so big brain because no one would think to look there. You would think to look up.
But in
Yeah.
in Star Wars and in Star Trek, they normally have the different sections where a pilot would go, but they're in control of the
But this isn't
weapons
Star
area.
Wars or Star Trek.
I know, but
Right,
I'm
right,
just
right.
saying if he pulled from that
No,
direction,
no.
it should.
This is his
I
Snyder
know.
creation.
Yes,
But-
yeah.
Making
He-
it make sense though.
made-
It,
it made-
should have just been
You-
control of the
You
weapons.
don't need a whole space bridge, he said.
Yeah,
You sit in the seat. It's like a car. You see,
controlling that
you
huge
shoot from the seat,
ship.
you pilot from the seat, you shit in the seat. Okay, it's all-in-one
don't need-
area.
you don't need to know.
You don't have to go anywhere else. It's just big because they have a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Then you pilot it from there.
But no, writing wise, like for anyone else that still is just like, oh,
It should've
y'all are
just been
complaining
the
about too
weapons,
much.
not the whole ship.
Like another major thing about this is that you don't really get to know anybody. They kind of tell you who they
No.
are.
Yeah.
Like the reason I don't know. I can't speak for the rest of y'all, but Kai's betrayal didn't really feel
Like a
that
betrayal?
important
No.
to me because I didn't know who he was in the first place.
Right.
So when he was just like, "Oh yeah, I'm selling y'all out to get money,"
He's like,
I was
"Oh, yeah,
just
that
kinda
makes
like,
sense."
"Yeah," I was just like, "Okay, yeah, why not?"
He's an opportunist. That makes sense. That
Yeah.
tracks.
It didn't hurt. It didn't
Yeah.
hurt as much.
It didn't hurt.
He said
because
I was a thief.
it didn't really hurt because he didn't feel connected to anybody.
Yeah, and he
He
feels
was already not connected.
Yep, and he feels about as important as everybody else on that cast.
Yeah. Any one of them could have betrayed them.
And
It
it
would have
been,
been
yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, that makes sense.
It'd be like, oh, if it's Gunner, it's like, well, I
No,
mean, you
but-
already showed your character
Yeah.
in the beginning.
yeah,
If it was Gunner, it would have been like but it would have been disappointing a little bit.
yeah,
If
Yeah.
it was Gunner, yeah, it would have made much more sense.
It would have been a little disappointing because he's been there from the beginning.
yeah. Movie dark as mess, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Can't see
Black
worth
and amber.
anything.
Not dark in tone, but dark in tone.
Yeah, that's just unnecessarily shot dark.
Yeah. Unnecessarily
It's
dark.
okay. It didn't really bother me. It didn't really bother. I just like it was funny. It was fun to make fun of it, but like it didn't really bother me.
It bothered me in parts where I noticed detail
Mhm.
after the fact.
Right.
Like when we were inside the
The bar.
saloon,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, I couldn't really see the creature before, but when we got super close,
You could zoom in.
you could tell what it was, and I was just like, oh.
That's an eyeball. Because I thought it was like I didn't realize it was alive. Like alive.
Yeah, it was like a
Mhm.
parasite.
Yeah, and then the scene where they're like in the aftermath of like father's death,
Mm-hmm.
where they're just kind of looking, and she's in the room, and I really could not tell if that was her or not. That was another one where I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
y'all doing a lot. And then yeah, I guess the slow mo annoyed me. Other than those things,
That early slow mo.
yeah.
The unnecessary slow mo. let me put on my cape real quick. Slow mo.
I thought the action was
It's a cool
pretty good.
shot.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Let me turn
I
around
don't
and
think
look
it
at
was
you.
enough of it.
Slow mo.
Yeah, slow.
I agree. I agree.
I don't think it was enough.
Could have been more.
Enough of it.
Let me
to
raise
it.
this gun up. Slow mo.
For what they hyped up and for
So
the
I think
characters
next
they
movie we have to
specifically
take
got,
shots.
yeah, I agree. I don't think that they
Yeah, about how many times every time they do a slow mo shot,
Oh,
we take.
God.
We do it. Take a shot out of it.
will.
Let me just walk in this direction. Slow mo. Slow mo.
Was there anything else like super major? I'm glad this came out on Netflix.
Right?
Couldn't
I
agree
was
more.
just about
I-
to say.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know how I would feel if I had gone to a theater to see this.
I would have felt cheated out of my money.
It's my money and I want it now.
Right?
I don't know because I feel like I would have wanted more out of this.
Yeah. Way more. out of it.
But I don't know that it would like upset me to see it on like a bigger screen
I would
since
have been
it's so
disappointed.
like cinematic in nature, I guess. But
you still would have been able to really see anything because it
I
would have
know.
been dark in that
But
theater.
see, it would have been bigger. So
It would have been bigger.
everything would have been more in my face. So I'm not gonna slight him on that, but I do think that it came out the way that it should have. Because I don't think there's enough here story wise to warrant it being in the
Right,
theater.
and that was another thing that I was thinking about because it suffers from it being a planned trilogy and it not being its own standalone movie.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like it stands alone by itself because it's clearly made to have a part 2,
Yeah.
which is part of its problem.
Yeah. Because if you don't invest enough in this part, then part 2 doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it tells its story because it in the way that it knows that part 2 is coming.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell this story and then end it, and then part 2 is enhancing the first one.
Yeah.
Like this story only works because part 2 is coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's funny because we were literally talking about that yesterday. While we were on stream, we were talking about it. For anyone that missed our stream yesterday, it's in like some of the bonus content of the stream. If you check it out on Twitch, it should still be there. But Vonell was on it, and he brought up The Dark Knight and Batman Begins, and I was just like, yeah, I understand what you're saying because he's just like, yeah, I thought Batman Begins is like a really good movie, and I was just like, well, it's good because it's enhanced by The Dark Knight itself, but it's like an okay movie on its own. But sequels can do that. Like, they can come by and enhance the properties or like really make you re-notice how characters work in their first parts, which is why Dark Knight Rises is rated so low because it does the complete opposite of that towards The Dark Knight. But of those 3 movies, The Dark Knight in and of itself is the masterpiece. And then Batman Begins is enhanced because it's like that middle movie. And then Dark Knight Rises is where it falls off because it's the most different feeling. So, who knows? Part 2 could come back and really emphasize on a lot of stuff that they built in part 1 that makes it more viable.
Yeah.
But
Part 2 could be better on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JT, haven't heard anything from you yet. What did you think about the movie for part 1, A Child of Fire?
He said, thumb down.
What did you
That's
think?
why you didn't say nothing.
Like what about this movie
nice.
did you like, and were just like what was that for? Like
Just kind of thought it was like I like the action scenes that was in it. Would have hoped for more. I actually believe if he really didn't say anything about part 2, I would have just went in blind seeing this and just seeing how it would conclude. Where it's like, oh man, yeah, this definitely deserves a second one. It just feels like those that watch it know that there's a part 2 that really can't give their full development for part 1 because knowing that part 2 is out to make that final conclusion.
because it's incomplete.
Well,
It's because I wouldn't say it's incomplete, but I would have rather went in this blind without knowing that there was a part 2 to be able to see like, okay, this is pretty good, and then see like, oh yeah, this definitely should be a part 2 where it wouldn't have that. Because I kind of feel like having it being part 1, you may not get the same feel where it's like, oh yeah, this is going to continue in the next one and stuff like that. I would have went in blind without seeing it to give me that surprise factor that, oh, this is going to have a continuation to the story.
But what did you like about the movie though? Did you like anything about it?
I could definitely say I didn't like how dark most of the scenes was, but I could definitely understand the planet that they were on, the reason of it. Like the dialogue I thought was cool. I just had a problem with the recruitment. I think with going to the different areas to find these people, I definitely wanted to see some type of signature thing with them. They were just kind of along with the ride of whatever happens. Hopefully in part 2,
they were archetypes.
Right.
They were just like really clear, cookie cutter
right
types. of characters.
Right. So maybe in the second one, we might be able to get a little more glimpse of the rest of the recruitments into it in part 2. But I mean, I really didn't have as much criticism to Zack Snyder as a whole, but I know that he makes really good movies. It's just the storytelling is just lacking.
Yeah. It did lack.
Yeah, I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, I felt like the pacing was okay from like when we were in the village up to where she left with Gunner and they were in the saloon, and then after that it started to like after they went and got to Rock. I was just like, I was like, what the heck is going on?
Somehow I think we got distracted because that's when you re-upped on the grapes, and then we were moving around. I think a little bit.
Yeah, like
I got distracted when they were transitioning from Tarak to the city.
Yeah,
I got distracted
to get Nemesis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I got distracted at that part because I could see from where it was in the kitchen, so I could see that they were going to get Nemesis.
For that.
But then
the spider came.
It felt like it was right. It felt like it was broken off at that point because. What was the point? Just to introduce her, I guess, but in that type of way, like I don't know. It felt a little bit off.
To give her something to do so that we could see why they want her.
Yeah.
But
look, she's cool.
I don't know.
But
it's
I
one of
mean,
those
like,
things.
I feel like that doesn't. I mean, it makes sense, but then it's like you go to the general and you see him just laying there as a drunk, and you're like, why do we want you?
We want him for his
Dude
brain
was
that he
dusty
did
and
not
crusty.
use.
Yeah.
He had
He was so
muscles on
dusty
his
and
muscles.
crusty.
He was buried. Okay, I can't even say he's washed up because he was so dirty.
Yeah.
He blended into that
dried out
sidewalk
turkey leg.
area.
He
You
was
could
dried
not
out.
see
There you
him.
He was not washed up. He was dried out.
I'm gonna call him a choke.
Oh.
Gosh, but yeah, they wanted him for his brain, and he didn't use
His brain.
any of it.
He killed all of his brain cells.
Yep.
He didn't use any of his brain.
They just gotta clean him up, you know.
Because I hate, and this goes into storytelling, like Trey mentioned before. I hate when they introduce characters that are known for a special skill set, and you don't get that skill set anywhere.
Okay, look, he had been retired. He had to build him back up.
That don't make
He had to
no
build him back up.
difference.
So they built him back up in part 2 then.
In
because
part
they
two,
did it in part
they
1.
have acquired.
But I wanted it in part
And now
one.
they're gonna build him back up, and he's gonna be
Like,
the genius that we all know him to be.
Because they keep mentioning, she kept calling him General. He didn't want to be called that, but at the same time, give me a hint of why you're really called the General. Like, give me a hint
Maybe
of why
in part
you're like
2 they will explain it.
See, like,
They
in
will
the trailer,
explain it in part 2, but I'm just saying, like, for part 1, for this to be a 2-hour movie and give me none of that, I was just disappointed.
I don't know what to tell you.
I feel like the general and then the Blood Axe dude.
Blood Axe dude was cheated.
I feel like those two disappointed me the most.
Yeah.
The Blood X definitely did disappoint me.
Yeah.
Blood Axe for sure.
I'm
because I just wanted to I wanted to see the action.
Yeah, I'm gonna be 100 with you. Nemesis disappointed me the most.
Right?
I was about to say y'all did a lot to try and show her off, and I ain't see not one earth-shattering moment for her whatsoever.
Nope. Nope.
To be honest, I don't even think Arthritis had really earth-shattering moments until she got a one-on-one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. That was her.
Well,
that was her moment.
Breakout, save the cat was.
Yeah, but that don't count. That's the
But
story.
It was that.
That's the
It
platform.
was that and the end.
Yeah.
She really didn't have anything in between.
Yeah,
No,
that's
she
what I
didn't.
mean.
Because she fought the big dude in the, but that was nothing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just don't feel attached to any of the characters.
No.
None? Absolutely none?
I
don't
feel.
know.
I
Maybe
feel.
Tarak?
I don't feel
atta-
attached to any of them.
How
I
about
don't
the
have.
Griffin?
The only one that I'm attached to is Jimmy.
Jimmy?
Okay, I lied. Jimmy's the only one I'm attached to. I can't wait to see where he went.
But we
to
didn't.
get them antlers. Okay.
But we didn't see Jimmy. Jimmy showed up, and as soon as he dropped that gun in that barn, he shot off like a rocket. We have no idea where Jimmy went.
But he made you feel something.
Well, it's because they did all this setup to talk about Yeah, they've completely like given up on like fighting people.
Yeah,
Because,
and then like you
like,
see him.
They won't
like,
even fire back if you fire at them.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he fires and kills somebody, and then he just disappears. And he shows up at the end of the movie, antlers.
He upgraded his flower crown to
with
an
a
antler
stick.
crown.
I can't wait.
He had antlers and a stick.
I'm only
Like,
looking
what
forward to
was he
this.
doing this whole movie? Like they set it up like he was important.
Right,
He
because
really
he
is.
did mention that, they didn't have the will to fight anymore because they felt like that connection once they lost the princess was gone. So they were just like, what was the whole point? So it's just like,
After he popped the bung, he got some type of resurgence.
I don't know. It didn't make any sense. I felt like he
He had
should
to
have
go
joined.
recalibrate.
I felt like he should have
Yeah.
He
joined
needed
them
to recharge.
on their journey.
Recalibrate.
Yes, it felt like that's what they were setting him up to do, and then he just didn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I can say that this movie is not paced well, but I definitely feel like it wastes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wastes a lot of
Like
time.
it seemed like it kind of was stalling in
on
certain
the-
Like, yeah,
parts.
like they intentionally stayed in places or they stick to parts that are inconsequential to what they actually have to do for the plot.
Yeah. They said, look at this world building detail.
Yeah,
I don't know why I should care about this.
right, because they don't care
They
about
don't
it.
come back around to it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, they use the robot part, but like that part is significant for episode 2.
And then that whole scorpion claw machine thing that they put people in where they could just shoot them. It's like, what's the point of that?
That's-
Just to torture? Just to show how cruel? Like,
Well, the
what?
way that they see, I feel like that's the most world building piece of technology that
Yeah.
they use, because they showed that it can capture people, they use it to paralyze people, and then they implied that once somebody is paralyzed, they can like scan their brain, which I guess they do in the embryo sac.
Yeah. That didn't make
But
any
we don't
sense
actually
either.
know if that's actually what it's used for or not. They just implied that they can do something with it. But I will say this, that one piece of technology stuck through the longest in this movie.
Yeah.
Nothing else seemed consistent whatsoever.
That whole embryo thing, that was the first time we get a look at that because it felt like the what is that pool from Batman and DC?
The Lazarus Pit?
The Lazarus Pit. Yes. It felt like the
The
Lazarus
Lazarus
Pit.
womb.
That's what it felt like. It felt like the Lazarus Pit, but they stuck a whole bunch of tubes in him. At first, we think he's a robot or a android, but he still could be. We don't know. They didn't answer
And
that
that's
question.
okay. You don't have to answer all of our questions in episode 1.
I feel like, but
She needs answers. She needs
they
answers.
dropped him in, and then they rose him up, and it was like a womb or something, and then they sent his brain to the astral plane. So is
Another range.
Is the senator in the astral plane? Like, is he dead or is he alive on their home planet? Like, that didn't make any
Well, I'm
sense
trying to
either.
figure out.
I think
if
he was
he
just
is-
communicating with him.
But it took all of that for him to communicate
He was
with them.
dead.
He was
He
out.
couldn't communicate with them afterwards. Like,
Look,
no.
I don't see. That's the thing. I don't get how their technology works.
I think there's
so I
a-
can't answer your question.
Yeah, there's a level of suspension of disbelief, and then you have to go a little bit beyond that, and then there's where this movie sits.
Yeah, but then they were like, is he brought back? No, I don't feel like brain waves
Because
or
those
heart
questions,
waves. He's
you
like,
don't
give him
have-
everything.
You don't
It's
necessarily
just-
have to have the answers to those. You just take it for what it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of
I don't
groundwork
want
that
to
I
take it
think.
for what it is, though.
I
A lot of it seems.
I feel like we're gonna need 3 parts.
There are 3 parts.
There really
Are they?
is.
Yeah, there's
I
only
think
parts.
two.
Are there? I thought there.
No,
was
there's
only
only
two.
two.
I know 2.
There's
I
only
thought
two.
it was 2.
Yeah,
I
there's only
thought
2 parts.
because when we were
Oh,
first.
they need 3.
Yeah.
It's only 2. This is not enough.
It's only
No
two
way,
parts.
no way. It's just 2. I
Part
just swear it was
Part
3.
You
2,
got
I'm gonna need a
directed.
backstory on each and every single one of these characters.
I think we're gonna get some of that in part 2 because it seems like the general, like there was a flash of like something with the general, like he either lost troops or something.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember seeing that one, and then it's just
I mean,
backstory, and then the third one they could take on the world or the
yeah, but
mother.
the admiral said
Mother
their
world.
backstories, so I don't know.
I know they said the backstories, but I wanted visuals.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only 2 parts. The second part will be released on April 19th.
You know,
Oh,
there are movies that
what is the uncut?
there are movies that have done this better. I don't know what they are, but there's movies that have done this better.
There's a lot of movies that couldn't. Star Wars, Doom, dang near any sci-fi you can name. The J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies did all of these better.
So when I go to
Maybe
Google,
there are too many characters.
after typing in Rebel Moon, it pulls up movies like Rebel Moon and it gives you a list.
Oh boy.
So it gives you a list, the creator.
There you
Okay.
It also gives you Origin Wars,
Okay.
The Atom Project,
Okay.
Jupiter Ascending.
or did you look this up because I said what I said?
No, like
Okay.
it like I was literally scrolling for information about Rebel Moon,
Oh, okay,
and then
okay,
it
okay.
had the category movies like Rebel Moon.
Because I wasn't.
that's
I wasn't
four right
necessarily
there.
Alienoid.
Alien.
Similar. I mean, like
Uh-huh.
literally the plot of
Yeah.
like the ensemble film, like where you go get
Mhm.
your members and
Like
then,
Magnificent Seven, like all
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
or,
those types of
47
movies.
Ronin.
Yeah.
All the things where it's just
Oh,
like you have to
sorry,
assemble a
47
group of
Ronin.
people.
Mhm.
Or Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of movies that you've seen this premise done better.
It also gives you that recommendation to
Guardians of the Galaxy,
yeah,
yeah.
under comedies.
But
This one was the kind of
yeah,
Yeah.
this movie has like a lot of writing technique that's in there, but they're not executed well. Like, the way that they played this is that like all of the characters understood how everything worked,
Yeah.
but they literally set up a vehicle in Gunner who had never been off his planet
Right?
that would be seeing all of this for the first time.
Yep.
And so we would have been able
Fish
to
out of
see
water.
through him
Yep.
Yeah.
how all of this worked and who all these characters were.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, they just played it off like he just didn't matter
Nope.
because they just wanted him in the background. It's not well
it's
written,
it's
but it
sidelined.
has a lot of
It's
things in
weird.
it.
It's
Yeah.
weird.
IMBD gives it
felt like
a
an
6 out
indie
of 10
film,
Yeah.
like
rating.
100%.
Honestly, yeah,
in a
I
weird-
think I would go
in a
with a
weird
6 out
way.
of 10. I think that's a
You
solid
said
rating.
you said how much?
6 out of
6
10.
6 out of 10. IMDb.
I'm 5.
Gave it a 6 out
I'm
of
around
10.
4 or 5 range. I think that I think that it rounds itself out to being a 5. I don't
Yeah.
think that it's like atrocious.
No.
Um,
No,
It's
it
not
was
atrocious,
entertaining. I enjoyed the movie,
Yeah.
but it just had a lot of like
Has some stuff.
flaws. Like it's just
flaws,
weird.
Yeah.
Like
weird choices, and then there's just stuff that I was just like, you could have done this better.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a 5. Seriously, yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it a 5.
What about you two over at the end?
I said 6.
Okay.
Okay. Really, with all that?
I give it,
Well,
I give it a
mean,
4.
I didn't mind
Yeah, 4.
I
the
give it a
darkness.
4.
Yeah, darkness my old friend.
Like I was
You're gonna see the
entertained.
orange to the end.
I just wanted
To a
more attachment to the characters.
Yeah.
I had wanted her to kick
That's
him
really
off,
the only
like,
thing that
the
felt.
Spartan
I just
thing.
felt empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I
So-
felt like I didn't really like the only one I would care about that died is Jimmy.
Yeah.
And I didn't even see Jimmy. Jimmy left.
Yeah. And Blackfire says that 5 rating is agreeable.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black
I would
Fire's
say,
wrong.
see, I'm weak. The
I give it a 4.
the darkness thing bothers me and stuff because it defeats the purpose of world building, like how he's trying to do it. Because if everything looks the same,
Yep.
I don't get that same feeling of wonder.
It-
Like the reason why Star
It
Wars,
doesn't feel like they're in a different place. They all
Yeah.
feel like the same place.
yeah, like
It
people
did- it
remember
did-
Star Wars because
It
it's
did
just
all
like
feel like
completely
it's the same
different.
place.
Yeah. That's what happens when you use the same random color tone throughout the same thing.
Dang.
But I get it because it gives an aesthetic look for the movie. But overall, it's just like, yeah, there needs to be some variation. Like, you can't keep finding excuses to make everywhere dark.
I mean, you went from sand, or I guess kind of like a prairie.
Yeah, like the plain lands and
Yeah,
everything. Yeah.
and then it was like
I had that
more.
feeling too.
Was it more dusty? Like
the saloon.
Yeah. It was,
Well, the saloon
was it
would
more
have.
dusty there?
No, it was raining, is what it was.
Yep.
I mean, you could say the inside
was
of it was
raining, yeah.
dusty,
It
but
was raining.
it was raining there.
Yeah.
Then it was
Then it was the
covered
metal.
in
metal.
city.
Then it was metal. Yeah.
Yep, and the like Shadowland City type
Mhm.
thing. No, because we got
Flashback?
Turok. Turok was kind of dusty, but that was like the most
dusty.
sun that we
That
saw.
was the dusty one. Yeah.
So,
okay.
welcome to the chat, Scribbling Shark. They said that IMDb reviews are entertaining if you read through them. And because of your comment, yes, I was just looking at one. Because this one asks, is Rebel Moon worth watching? And it says Rebel Moon is a new project from Snyder, but unfortunately it really feels like a rejected version of Star Wars that feels derivative and extremely boring. The visual effects, productions, and costumes are pretty good, as the costumes and production look colorful, but there's some bad CGI effects. So,
I don't know if I would say it's
Scribbling Shark, yes. So that was what I was looking at on my phone, showing Chia and JT.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, hello and welcome
Hello.
to the chat.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I would say there was like bad CGI. That's like a
Not too
thing.
bad CGI.
Yeah, that's a thing that a lot of people bring up like today, but I don't feel like a lot of people know what makes bad. That's like when people see animation today and they're just like, oh my god, that was bad animation. I can't believe that this was in here. They really did this, and I'm just like, have you ever animated before? Because this isn't bad.
Right,
Like,
exactly. Animation
I don't.
is hard.
Y'all have not
CGI is
seen
hard.
bad animation like today coming out. There hasn't been like any real bad CGI in this.
Yeah, not in this. Not in my opinion.
Yeah, I think everything looked real enough
Nothing
for
stood
the
out to me,
environment they set in.
because I would have definitely made fun of something that was like maybe that creature, but like the creature seemed integrated enough and enough to pass.
The ships looked good enough.
Yeah.
Comments are ruthless.
They are ruthless. They are very ruthless.
On IMDb.
IMDb has some ruthless reviews. This one is the Washington Post. It's just the title. Rebel Moon is Star Wars on steroids, but with the life sucked out. That's the title of the article. So the reviews are up in the
So
air.
much more than Star Wars.
Yeah, but you have
It is so much more than.
But-
It's not even and after watching the whole
title of an article.
after
Good
watching the
gracious.
whole movie, because when you saw the trailer, it did kind of give you that Star Wars feel. But after watching, it is like I think it's so far removed from Star Wars that it's John Carter.
Right? It is like John Carter. It really is like John Carter.
it's
John Carter on steroids.
but John Carter's not like the like assembly kind of movie, but it gives me the same vibe.
Right.
It feels like John Carter meets Magnificent Seven to me.
Right? Yes, it does. That
Which
is
is
an
that like
excellent
Western
combo.
movie where they get the seven.
Okay.
Yeah, that is an excellent combo right there.
But yeah.
The reviews are up in the air. Some people really like it and say that this is something that Snyder should be doing all along. Other people are just like, yeah, it just wasn't that impressionable.
No, some people were glazing, absolute glazing Snyder for this.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, no, there was like,
It's a high concept. I mean,
There-
It is a very high concept.
Yeah, but they're-
if you're into, they're looking at the world potential. They're not
Oh.
looking at what it is.
no, I'm talking about people that's just like, yeah, if you don't like this movie, you don't understand because this is a love letter to the daughter he lost, and you can see it in the parts of the movie where it's written for specifically her and what her experience would be like before we tragically lost her. And I was like, all right, so just say that y'all can't rate this movie then, because at that point you can't find anything wrong with him.
That's not the movie.
Exactly, like y'all just you adding stuff in here now. Y'all aren't just watching a movie; you're just praising Snyder for making a movie.
Yeah, it can be about his daughter and whatnot, but the movie can still have flaws.
Yep, it sure can.
Yep.
It can be both things.
Yeah.
Just that's because it's about his daughter doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Blackfire says it has a lot of Star Wars elements, especially with how some of the tech works, which we,
I
all
can see
seem
that.
to agree
With
on.
like the heat sabers or the vibro blades or whatever.
That
Scribbling
it didn't
Shark.
explain.
Yeah, that they didn't explain. Scribbling Shark says it definitely hit the 8 to 9/10 reviews too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I guess I'm a bit surprised that it hit that high, but like you said, a lot of people were raving about it.
Yeah, it like got 8s and 9s from some people.
Yeah.
I can see it, but
I can see the potential for an 8 and 9.
exactly.
I don't.
I
I don't see an 8 and 9 out of this movie,
No.
but I can see the potential.
Objectively,
for it.
no.
Yeah. Like, if they continue this universe and expand it and talk more about it, sure. Like, you could come back and be like, Rebel Moon is one of the biggest franchises. Like, I'm not a Star Wars fan, so personally, I don't think that, like, Episode 4 was all that great. But Episode 5 came in, and I feel like that's where we really got the full expansion of where it goes. We could have a whole situation like that.
Not if
with
it's
Rebel
2
Moon.
parts.
Yeah, well, you know.
Not if
Hey, look. He ain't got nothing better to do.
And Rotten Tomatoes gave this a 70 on the audience score and a 22 on the tomato meter.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's critics versus, like, people watching. I don't know. I feel like it falls somewhere in between there. I'm not going to say that it's, like, super bad. The writing issues that Snyder typically has do show, but there are entertaining parts. I do feel like this movie went on, like, long, though.
yeah, way
To the point where when we got to it saying that it was 2 hours and 15 minutes, I was just like, bruh, this don't feel like no 2 hours.
when we got to the part where we were like, what do we have, an hour left? That was the beginning of the end. The end was an hour long.
Felt crazy.
Because that was what they were in the ship. They were her and Kai were talking. I
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and then they landed like 5 minutes later, and then he betrayed them.
Yeah.
Traitor.
And then they fought for an hour.
right. They fought for an hour.
And he wasn't even part of the fight.
But yeah, guys. Well, we did it.
We did it.
Goodness
We
gracious.
did
Yeah.
it.
Got through this.
We got through it.
This
Yeah,
is
we
not,
did it.
Not gonna make me no Snyder fan. Goodness gracious. But
Yeah.
Child of Fire Part 1 is done.
Yep.
Don't-
5 out of 10.
Yep. Don't ask
4.
us.
5. Yep.
6.
I think we kind of rounded. Are we rounding it out all together, or are we just giving all of our own things?
It's 5.
I'm cool with 5.
All right, let's.
It's mid.
Stop.
mid.
People hate that.
Benji, what?
Well, I mean,
Hey, when
to
you
be
call-
honest,
hey, when you call their favorite thing mid.
Benji says 4.
Benji says.
Benji said, "Why'd you wake me up?"
Yeah, he's like, what is wrong with you?
He said, "Mommy, why?" He said, "I want to go back to sleep."
Go back to sleep, buddy. I'm sorry they disturbed you.
Benji said it's mid.
yeah.
Yeah, woke this man
So
up
it's
from
mid
his
from us,
slumber.
guys. That means you could like it one way or the other, but we would like you to like this video if you enjoyed it.
Yeah. If
Share
you thought
this.
this video was mid, like it.
If you thought this video was mid,
If you thought our video was mid, hit that like button.
if you hate our commentary,
Subscribe.
hit that like button.
Yeah. Do all the YouTube things because that lets us lock in our algorithm and lets you get to continue to tell us what we should think on the internet, even though it don't matter to us in the long run. So, you know.
It's fun to tell other people what they should believe.
Yes, that's right. And it's fun for us to read them and then ignore that sentiment.
Yes.
Yeah, the shots.
We won't ignore it.
No,
I'll take it in, swirl around a little bit, spit it
I
out.
don't swirl it. Kick back, dirt off the
Spit
shoulders.
it out like used gum.
You know, it's like Zuko. He's learning how to channel lightning.
You can channel it all you want.
Just bend it and throw it back.
Yeah, exactly.
Right on.
Come on, you've got to feel the flow.
Come back
That's
with a
something I
slingshot.
know.
There you go.
Shout out to Mako. We miss you. That was the original voice, yeah. But yeah, if you guys enjoy the reaction and review, we're learning how to make content around official media and stuff. This is our first attempt.
Yes.
So, y'all let us know how we did in the comment section down below. While you're there, you can check out a link to all of our socials, including our Discord page, the C2 Circle. There, you can become a champion of the ring and be around for all the content that's going to be lined up when we go live on Thursday at
7.
PM Eastern Standard Time on the dot.
That's
Period.
right. Mostly every Thursday.
Mostly.
With consistency.
Well, I said that because I'm just like, I'm thinking of next Thursday and I'm just like, I don't really know. But
But next Thursday is up in the air.
that's right.
We shall
To
see.
be determined.
We're at the holiday end of the year stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was about to say, we might
About to
be
get
taking a
that
break.
About to get that 24.
But we'll see. Either way, guys, thank you so much for all of your support in getting us to check out Rebel Moon, A Child of Fire. Might be mid to us, but we'd love to hear some of your comments about the movie
Tell us how
and
much
what
you
you
loved
thought. That's
Honest
right.
opinions.
Tell us how much you loved it,
Mm-hmm. That's right.
and we won't say you're wrong, because you have a right to your own opinion.
That's
Exactly.
Yep.
Couldn't agree more.
What is happening?
You know, they're gonna tell us how wrong we were, and then I'll just
Oh
be
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
talk to Christoph.
Yep.
Nah, but this was super cool.
Yes.
I do hope that he continues to get more original content stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the concept was bad.
No, I think the concept
the
on paper
concept
works.
was fine.
It
was,
like I said,
the
it's
world
just,
is cool. Like not like it's just the way the story was told was the odd part.
yeah. To me, it's just like writing technique stuff.
Yeah.
That's like, okay, this was a deviation, but you probably shouldn't have deviated
Mhm.
too far.
And also, hopefully he gets the feedback and stuff, and then he can improve on some of the things.
Improve on his next projects, you mean?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
not, because it's probably already written.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm
Probably
gonna give him the
won't be,
benefit
just
of the
probably
doubt
already
of
filming
it.
the second
You know,
movie.
iron sharpens iron, so
Yeah.
He's already.
criticism and
It's already
things he
filming the
can
second one.
improve and be
Mhm.
better for the next project.
Yeah. But y'all gotta stop with this whole the director's cut is gonna save movies and all this mess. Y'all got to let an L be an L at some point.
Goodness.
He said no, never.
Goodness gracious.
What if it does save it this time?
All right, look. So this is the thing for y'all, right? Batman versus Superman, the director's cut does actually save that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In context, if you continue to work with specific studios and put out content, every studio, every single movie you have ever seen has been cut by their studios. Every single one. There's no process in making a movie where the studio doesn't come in and make final edits in order to make a theatrical or a streaming release. That just doesn't happen in the business. So if y'all are really, really going to advocate for the idea that Zack Snyder's visions need to be seen in full, y'all need to start supporting him on an indie level and stop belly aching. Because that mess is ridiculous. I'll give you Batman versus Superman.
Mm-hmm.
That is the one example. That Justice League movie is not better, man.
Uh-huh.
It's better by the context of the first movie you got, but if you compare those two movies, you get the same level. Just one is 4 hours long.
Facts.
Oh yeah, that was straight shot through.
I've never seen people like advocate for an unfinished movie before, like because like the editing wasn't all the way done and stuff like that. Never seen someone go up to that.
Hey, we got a rated R edit coming for this one.
When does that one drop?
March.
March, okay.
March.
I hope it
So
does
after
what
the
Batman
second part
vs
comes
Superman
out.
did.
Is
It's by
is it a director's cut and R?
Yes.
Is it both? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Hmm.
The rated R director's cut. of-
Director's cut meaning you're gonna add all the naughty parts. to the
I
movie.
guess. Yeah.
Naughty.
Yeah.
You're gonna get your sex scene and it's gonna be way better.
Oh my gosh.
I'm being facetious if anyone didn't catch that.
Yes.
But yeah,
Did
guys.
you use it in words?
Yeah, I got words.
What's our word? This starts with S.
Spasmatic.
Spasmatic.
Yep.
That's a spasmaticology right here.
This felt like a spasmodic movie. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I was gonna say it. I wasn't gonna say it.
But
yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It ain't the worst thing. I feel like we're being.
I'm
I
done.
feel like we're being the
We're-
fairest we
we're-
can be.
Yes.
I don't know. Part of me feels like we're being really negative about this movie.
Really?
I'm trying to level it out a little bit, but like I did feel like I was.
The
being
thing about
really
it is that the things that I like about the movie are mostly not there. So that's the thing that bothers me. But the more that I try to think about that, the more it starts to bother me.
No.
I'm letting it be.
Yeah.
I got talked into a 5, okay?
But we have
I
to
was
say-
right there at a 4.
we have to say the good things so that people know that we do like the movie.
It's shot very well.
Yeah.
There's
We just say all the
It was very
bad
picturesque
because
stuff.
those are the
I
parts
enjoy
that stick
watching
out in
the
our
movie.
head.
Like, not gonna
Yeah.
lie or
It's a 5.
sugarcoat it.
It's not a 2.
I enjoyed watching.
Action scenes were cool. There was a horse.
There's not even. It was had 4 legs.
Jimmy!
Jimmy!
Flushing robots. All right, I'm done.
Need
I need to
to-
get out of here.
Need to explain a horse and a dog to me, but thank you guys so much for watching. We will be hitting you guys with some more videos coming up soon. But until that time comes, it's been Trey.
Gridolf.
JT Wolf.
Autumn.
Gia.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Happy
and
New
we'll
Happy
Year.
catch
holidays.
you in the next video with more Catered Chaos.
Bye.
Bye.
Be one with the moon.
He won with the
Rebel Moon. Coming at you.
Rebel Moon.
We did it.
We did it! We did it! We did it! We did it! Yeah!
Now we sing on.
We did it! We watched the movie, we ate some food, yeah, we did it!
Oh.
Oh man.